The 10 takedowns of the narcissist. It is evident then when people are looking for information about narcissists and narcissism that certain categories are more popular than others, and that invariably relates to doing down the narcissist in some way, taking the narcissist down, visiting some form of justice upon the narcissist, making life difficult and miserable for the narcissist, turning the narcissist world upside down. Why is there such a popularity with regard to people wanting to know about that? Well, for the majority, it is as a consequence of them having been severely hurt by the actions of our kind. Whether it is the fact that you were the mistress that has been strung along for years with promises of the narcissist husband going to leave his wife, but he never does. Whether it's the fact that you've been dating somebody thinking it was moving towards something significant, only to realize that the individual has a whole host, a harem of other people, and that you thought that you were dating exclusively, only you to find out at an early juncture that was not the case. Whether it is the fact that as the intimate partner secondary source, you thought that the narcissist was going to make you the intimate partner primary source, that you would be crowned as the girlfriend, the boyfriend, whatever it might be, the status that attains with intimate partner primary source, only for it not to be happened, and somebody else get there instead. Then, of course, we turn to the devaluing behaviours meted out towards individuals. Whether you're a family member who's been repeatedly shunned, put upon, ignored, not given the support and love, the financial assistance, whether you've been scapegoated, name-called, insulted, triangulated with other members of the family, whether it's an intimate relationship where you have been raped, beaten up, had your money taken, denied access to money, treated badly in front of the children, triangulated with your children, criticised, on the receiving end of false accusations, cheated upon, made to feel less than you actually are. The litany of devaluing behaviours and treatments as part of the manipulative repertoire of the narcissist and the narcissistic dynamic is legion. You will all be well acquainted with this, and therefore it leaves people feeling disgusted, angry, hugely hurt, raw, dismayed, broken, sometimes financially destitute, alienated from their children, hurting inside at how they've been treated after they gave their all to the narcissist, deprived of a sense of justice, their pride dented or shredded, still perhaps bearing physical injuries, mental torment, the emotional fallout. The consequences of a narcissistic entanglement are far-reaching. Job loss, ill health, post-traumatic stress disorder, loss of friends and family, depleted self-worth, diminished self-esteem, an empty bank account. You will all be familiar with the various forms in which this takes, and therefore, even an empathic individual, it will cross their mind about seeking some form of revenge against the narcissist. It is understandable, because the external stressor that is the abuse of the narcissist towards you reduces your emotional empathy, meaning that your narcissistic traits, and you have them like anybody else does, come to the fore. Your emotional empathy is reduced with regard to your abuser. Your empathic traits of honesty, decency, compassion, caring, excellent listener, and so forth diminish, and expose those narcissistic traits of anger, of pride, of vanity, of argumentativeness, so that it causes you to want to, at the very least, visit some kind of retribution against the narcissist to make the narcissist pay. You want the narcissist to lose his or her job, to lose their standing and status, for their house to burn down, for them to gain weight, for their looks to fade, for their new relationship to go down the shitter. You want the narcissist to suffer. You have, so why shouldn't they? It is an understandable response. And it is a short-term one. Because thereafter, should you obey the first golden rule of freedom, which is once you know, you go, you get out and you stay out, this means that your emotional thinking will reduce and you are no longer being exposed to the abuse. This means that your emotional empathy will return and will encircle those narcissistic traits, meaning that you are far less inclined to want to pursue a course of revenge against the narcissist. It is therefore entirely understandable that in the immediate aftermath of realizing that the narcissist is cheating on you, or that you've been disengaged from the narcissist, or that somehow you've escaped and you're looking back at the burning, smoking ruins of the relationship, that you are angry and hurt and distressed. And therefore your mind will venture to, how can I get back at the narcissist? And hence people go trawling for articles and videos about those very subjects. This is where there are 10 common takedowns of the narcissist that are put forward to you as a means of getting your own back on the narcissist. But it is fundamentally important for you to understand the reality of the nature of these videos. I have selected 10, which I'm going to briefly tell you about, so that you gain proper understanding, and then I'm going to go further with regard to explaining what is really going on with regard to these circumstances. Number 1, how to control the narcissist. You cannot do so with any guarantee of success because we are creatures that are hypersensitive to threats to our control, and therefore our narcissism rejects any such threat. If you try and control us, our narcissism instinctively defends us against this, and you cannot control us with any guarantee of success. You can't make us do things. You can bring the power of the law against us. That's different. But you can't plead, threaten, cajole, beg, force the narcissist to do something that you want and be guaranteed that you will get a successful outcome. If the narcissist does this, it's because the narcissist wanted it all along, and it's serendipity. But it is important that you understand and see my video that goes into greater detail about this. 2. How to make the narcissist obsessed with you. Guess what? You can't. Why? Essentially, again, it's because you can't control us. If we have an obsession with you, and invariably we don't, for reasons explained in the video, how to make the narcissist obsessed with you, this obsession only rises out of a fuel obsession or a malice obsession, and they are unusual. More importantly, you can't make us obsessed with you. 3. How to make the narcissist stay away forever. You, again, can't make us do anything, but what you can do is build an impenetrable no-contact regime which has the effect of making us stay away forever. We actually won't, because we will try and hoover you, and I have explained elsewhere the conditions which are applicable to that. So we don't stay away forever. We can't stay away forever, because you will come up on our radar. Even if you do nothing, we will think of you. We will be reminded of you by something or someone, which will cause a hoover trigger and lead to the potential for a hoover to be made. But if you have followed my work, you'll have put in place an impenetrable no-contact regime, which means you never get to hear that the hoover has taken place. So, although you can't make us stay away forever, you can create the equivalent of that through your no-contact regime. Number 4, how to make the narcissist do what you want. Guess what? Again, you can't, for reasons I've explained, appertaining to how to control the narcissist. Number 6, how to make the narcissist come back. Again, you can't do this with any guarantee of success for reasons already explained. Of course, you can do certain things which mean that there is a chance of the narcissist returning, but of course, you should not be doing that, for reasons explained in the video, how to make the narcissist come back. How to make the narcissist regret losing you. We don't experience regret, therefore this is entirely futile. How to ruin the narcissist's life. There are certainly things that you can do to make the narcissist's life difficult, But it won't lead to the ruination of the narcissist's life because of the way that we operate with regard to nullifying threats to our control. How to play with the narcissist. Anybody that suggests that to you is a moron. Because, once again, because of our inherent need to nullify threats to our control, you cannot achieve this with any degree of success. Moreover, you should not attempt to do so for reasons that I shall shortly explain. How to fluff the narcissist. This is an absolute ridiculous sentiment and is a dangerous one. And you can't do it, because once again, you are seeking to threaten the narcissist's control by doing this, which must be rejected. Finally, how to torment the narcissist. Well, you can cause difficulties again for the narcissist with regard to threatening our control, but it'll be short-lived because ultimately, even if you continue to say no and be awkward to us, the narcissist will move to the third assertion of control, which is withdrawal. Those are 10 takedowns of the narcissist that apparently you can utilize. Save you can't, for the reasons that I've quickly explained, and I have videos about nearly each of those that you can dive into in greater detail to enable you to understand precisely why you ought not to do it and why you won't succeed. Understand, this is not me on some grandiose trip telling you, ha 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 ha, we narcissists are completely invulnerable. Wrong. Not at all. We do have a vulnerability. It's called no contact, and we absolutely hate it. As I've explained in 3 types of revenge against the narcissist, the one that you should all be aiming for is no contact. That wounds us substantially. It threatens our control. We hate it. It makes us feel weak, vulnerable. Of course, we respond to it by turning our attention elsewhere, and therefore you will not cause us a permanent problem in the sense that each and every day it causes us to be wounded, but is the most effective thing that you can do, and therefore we are not invulnerable. Of course, certain narcissists are far more effective than others, but that's a different story. But this isn't about me trying to suggest to you that we are the completely high and mighty, and that there's nothing that you can do that can cause us a problem. No. But what I am explaining to you is that your understandable desire to exact retribution, revenge, and justice against the narcissist invariably leads you to looking at things which are not in your best interests. Why? 1, they can't be achieved, for reasons already explained. 2, you ought not to even try for the following reasons. Firstly, you will likely give us fuel. That means we win. You will suffer an adverse consequence. We will lash out at you. You will be smeared. We might attack you, verbally, physically. We could cause problems for you with regard to relationships with other people. We frustrate you because you can't achieve what you want. You become hurt and upset. Therefore, you suffer an adverse consequence, which you would not have suffered if you'd have imposed no contact. Thirdly, you increase your own emotional thinking. That means you're not going to use logic. That means you'll make more mistakes. That means your recovery will either never happen or will be much slower than it should be. Furthermore, you increase the risk of being hoovered because you keep coming on our radar. And if you do, this causes our narcissism to ask this question: is this appliance under control? And if you're not, this may well then lead to you being hoovered if the conditions are set. Not only should you not do these 10 takedowns because they won't work, there are considerable downsides to you even attempting them, and logically, you would recognize this. When you reduce your emotional thinking, you will look at this and realize, I understand now why those things could not be achieved. I understand now why trying to do them was not in my best interests. You will see the logic of it through the reduction of your emotional thinking. But in those early stages, when you're raw and you're hurt and your emotional thinking is high, you fail to adhere to that logic. And you go searching for topics of this nature and possibly, though not always, embark upon a fool's errand. Why are there, though, individuals who maintain that you can do these things successfully when actually you cannot? As you know, I'm an aware narcissist, and I explain to you why these things don't work, because it irritates me that incorrect information about it is being provided. You need to know what you should do rather than what you want to hear. I tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. The individuals that maintain that you can achieve these things are lying to you. They are misleading you. They are causing you to embark upon a fool's errand, as I have stated, and they are causing you to suffer adverse downsides, as I have explained already. But why do they do this? You are invariably listening to either an individual who is well-intentioned but has mistakenly picked up on misinformation and is regurgitating it, and as a consequence of their own heightened emotional thinking is not applying logic, and therefore, wanting to achieve these things, talks about these are the ways that they can be done. That occasionally happens, but it actually is quite unusual, because although the injured victim very much thinks about achieving these things, they invariably don't, because as logic forms and their emotional thinking falls, they are not motivated to do it. So who is doing this, or claiming that it can be done? These are the unaware narcissists. These are the unaware narcissists, invariably mid-range, who feel the need to tell everybody, tell the world, about how they took down the narcissist, that they kicked the narcissist's ass, and you can too if you follow these steps. You are being misled by this information that they provide. What is actually happening? Well, naturally, the narcissist that is unaware will tell you that you can do all of these things because of their grandiosity, because of their need to assert control. And here, two things are occurring. The first is this. That narcissist was involved with a genuine victim. And let us say that that genuine victim has escaped them. Remember, from the narcissistic perspective, that genuine victim is made to appear like the perpetrator, and that the narcissist believes they are the victim. That is the nature of the dynamic. Accordingly, the unaware narcissist seeks revenge because the narcissism says this. The other person, who we will label as the narcissist, although they're actually not, has threatened our narcissist control. Therefore, the narcissism says we must tell the narcissist to do something to assert control over them. Because the first law of narcissism is all appliances must be under control, brought under control, and kept under control at all times. Therefore, the genuine victim that has escaped the clutches of the narcissist threatens that unaware narcissist's sense of control. The narcissism then motivates that narcissist to do something about it. They may well have tried and failed, and therefore the creation of videos and articles about the way that it can be done is the second assertion of control, indirect. The unaware narcissist creates these videos for the purposes of telling the world this is how you can break the narcissist, how you can bring the narcissist down low. But they actually haven't done it themselves. And instead, what they're doing is controlling their listening audience directly by telling them what they want to hear rather than what they need to know. But they're also asserting indirect control over the escaped victim that the unaware narcissist views as a narcissist by the audience's reaction and approval and confirmation and desire for more information and knowledge. So the unaware narcissist stands there and says to their listeners, their viewers, this is how you ruin the narcissist's life forever. This is how you can make the narcissist come back and toy with them. This is how you can continue to torment the narcissist. And those individuals who are likely genuine victims, who are still in the early throes of their own emotional thinking, go, ooh, great, thank you for telling me this. This is what I want to hear. Good. That approval, confirmation, agreement gives the unaware narcissist in their unconscious a sense of control through the indirect assertion of control. In effect, they are smearing the genuine victim that they label as the narcissist to their viewers and their readers. So that is why you will see with certain channels that they go on and on and on and on about their own personal narcissist ad infinitum. Why? Because they keep remembering that threatens their control, and they are then smearing that narcissist, although they're not one, it's a genuine victim, to their viewers and their listeners. So it's a form of the assertion of control. And the other instance whereby this is being done is simply through grandiosity. The belief that this can be achieved even though it's never been attempted. Furthermore, you have an unaware narcissist who may well have engaged in behaviour which brought this person back, that has ruined that person's life, that has tormented that person. How then have they been able to achieve that? Simple. They have not been tormenting or ruining another narcissist, although they think that they are dealing with a narcissist. What they have done is they have ruined the life of an empathic victim. They have tormented an empathic victim. They have made the empathic victim come back. They have made the empathic victim obsessed, not a narcissist, a genuine victim. The unaware narcissist labels that individual as a narcissist, engages in certain behaviours which are continued manipulations, but of course the unaware narcissist can't see this. They then get a result, through their perspective, of seeing that individual crushed, ruined, tormented, miserable, their life ripped apart, as they continue to hoover them, asserting control over them, and then gleefully the unaware narcissist turns with the spoils of their victory and parades it all over YouTube and blogs, when all they're doing is being a narcissist, asserting control, and heralding the destruction or torment, misery of a genuine victim. The unaware narcissist believes that what they have done has been effective. It has, but not against a narcissist, no, against a genuine victim. Many of you listening to this will have experienced a situation whereby the narcissist projected and called you the abuser. Indeed, where the narcissist has accused you of being a narcissist. This will ring true with you. These individuals are either telling you about things that they've not done but they wish they could do, and through their grandiosity are asserting control over a genuine victim by smearing them through channels to viewers for the second assertion of control, or they are crowing about success stories which haven't been meted out against narcissists because they wouldn't succeed for the reasons that I've explained, but they are actually telling you about the impact of their continuing narcissistic behaviour, although they don't see this, against a genuine victim. Think about this also. An empathic victim should be focused on no contact and recovery, not continuing to try and torment somebody else. As I've explained in the initial stages, it's understandable that one would feel that way, but that soon passes with the genuine empathic victim. It will take a little time, but getting your emotional thinking under control and applying logic will reduce those feelings. The individuals that want to continue to talk about it, parade it, crow about it, glorify it upon various channels and blogs, those are the narcissists. They feel a need to share with the world what they've been doing, which is essentially something that ought to be private. For instance, I am aware that somebody had posted a comment on one of my videos referencing a link to their own channel. I had a little luck, curious to see what the video was, and it was an individual who was in a car and had pulled over by the side of the road and had explained that they were suffering from elevated blood pressure, deep vein thrombosis, and were having basically an episode where they didn't feel very well. In the very next breath, this individual, filming all of this on a camera phone from within the front of their car, started screaming and shouting at the camera, talking about how this was all because of the effing narcissist and the effing narcissist flying monkey girlfriend, and how they were in court and they were doing this and they were doing that, and launched into an almighty tirade. There spoke a narcissist. Why? The empathic victim, if they were genuinely suffering from some form of health complaint, would go and seek assistance of a doctor, drive to A&E, to the emergency room, or at least would pull over and do some breathing exercises to calm down. They would not go, "Oh, my health is being affected, I must record this for a video," and then launch into a tirade. That is the narcissist seeking to assert control over a suspected narcissist, which isn't one, for the purposes of creating that video to assert control indirectly. Note, not doing the thing that would actually work, namely going to see a doctor. 2, pity play, talking about elevated blood pressure, deep vein thrombosis, having an episode. 3, sense of entitlement. Rather than seek help, I must film this and I put it on my channel. Not that I think it only had about 35 views when I saw it. 4, assertion of control by smearing the labelled narcissist who isn't one. Hypocrisy, talking about ill health, but then not doing anything about it. Then furthermore, actively behaving in a particular way, which makes it even worse. If you are actually suffering from high blood pressure, what the fuck are you doing shouting and screaming at the top of your voice and raising it even higher? That was a narcissist in action, and, although not a prominent one, shows once again the desire to go straight to a video, to share it with the world by reason of the need to assert control. And this is why you need to be mindful. I'm upfront and honest with you about what I am. You don't know who I am, and therefore I can tell you all of this because it doesn't impact upon my ability to control people in my real life. I am completely clear about the way that we operate because I know what I am. And that is why my work is both insightful, deep, and unrivaled, and why it is so effective. Continue to use it to your advantage. Consult with me and join the many, many people who have achieved real freedom, and avoid listening to these charlatans. The way to take down the narcissist is to control yourself and to apply no contact. That is the most effective weapon that you have against us. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.